して。ヒルピア。
久しぶりだね。会いたかったよ、お兄ちゃん。
So this episode of farming related skills, by the way, we are just one episode away from the season finale. We have one more week left with farming related skills before everything wraps up, and man, has SHIT hit the fan. So what I wanted to start off with is saying here's it. Before, I'm not even editing this out. You're gonna get the stutters and all. Not every episode of anime is created equal, and not every episode of 23 minutes of anime, 21, 22, 23 minutes of anime is created equal, right? Because some use more of their time to go over the ED, some go over the credits, some go over a big cliffhanger or something. Some use more, some use less of the time, right? There's been anime like Re:Zero Mashoko Tensei that virtually use up every single minute of an episode. And there's other anime who use 3 minutes of an OP, 3 minutes of an ED, so we get stuck with like 18 to 17 minutes of actual content. The reason I said that is earlier this week I covered an anime, Eminence in Shadow, and it was 23 minutes, and I felt it was so jam-packed that it felt like 45 minutes to me. It felt like double the runtime. In comparison, this episode of farming-related skills, the episode ends with Livia, and being introduced to us again. Even though this homegirl was buried, how the hell you come back? But regardless, we get left on a cliffhanger of Livia being, I guess, a demon or something. Maybe she got resurrected. I don't know what the hell's going to be the storyline here. But regardless, Livia came back, and that's the cliffhanger we left off on. Well, in that moment, I was like, man, this feels like the end of the episode. This feels like where we would end off on. I was like, good thing we're not there yet. And sure enough, come to find out that, yeah, it did in fact end at that specific moment. I was like, God damn it. Because I felt like we were only maybe like 12 to 15 minutes in. Like the episode, like nothing had happened, right? Like we had Ruri, Helen, and Fel helping and tending to the farm with Al. They went and sold some vegetables. We saw Al have a really cool conversation with Fal's dad and basically saying, when are you going to take my daughter? He had a premonition or like a vision of some kind of like blonde angel looking thing because Fal knocked him up upside her head or upside his head. Then he came across the demon girl, and he was like, oh, okay, you need to get across the sea. We're not going to take no boat. I'm going to run you across the sea. He physically ran, which I was like, yo, couldn't the mailman guy, Rix do that? But whatever. So he ran across the sea. He got there. We come across a bloody scene of demons kind of being, I don't know, I guess they got kind of like massacred or they got effed up. One of them talks about an evil woman, an evil lady. And then we find the demon king on the floor. The demon princess girl is like, Daddy, why? And then we see Livia pretending to be Al's mom the whole time, and then she reveals herself back to Al, saying, Oni-chan! And that is heartbreaking, because at this point, like, Al can't, like, Livia is Al's weakness. Livia is Al's reason for doing what he's doing, right? He's kind of, like, trying to live up to the memory he had for her. And she was, heavily afflicted and diseased and everything else, and they buried her. So I'm very confused on what scenario they can cook up to where she came back. When she was originally introduced, was like, okay, at some point she's going to come back into the story, but then they're like, yo, she's dead. And I was like, damn, they went there. But now they're like, she's not dead, she's back. And it's like, well, what scenario could they have, to bring her back? She spent 2 years with them. Even if she was a demon, even if she was powerful, she was definitely afflicted by hunger. And, how could she have come back? The only thing I can think of is, like, resurrection or something of that nature. But even then, how? I don't know. I'm going to be very interested to see on how they bring her back. next episode because it's just too convenient, you know. And they kind of drove the stake they drove the nail in the coffin of she's dead, and they made it pretty evident in how she died. So I'm be very interested to see on how they can revitalize a dead character here. But regardless, like I said, during that time, it felt like the episode was really, really short because nothing happened this episode. Like, I thought the episode was very okay. We got some cool little bit of fan service. We meet a brand new character who ends up being the Demon King's daughter, which she ends up being the princess. We see her babysitter. We see Elle's mom. We find out Livia's back. That's all that happened this episode. I didn't feel fulfilled by the 20 minutes or 23 minutes of the episode. It wasn't good enough for me. So it was okay. So I hope next week is much better, though, because now I'm interested, obviously, in, like, how are they going to resurrect Livia in this story, because, B is dead. So, all right. I'm gonna leave you guys with those thoughts there. I know it's kind of incomplete thoughts, but overall, like, 6 out of 10 episode. It was fine. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you guys being here for another week of farming-related skills. We have one more episode left, my friends, and then we're calling it kaputs as we get to move on to the official winter season. Yep, official winter season. All right, peace.